So, American moderation. So we're going to go back a little bit and go to the Roaring '20s and talk about it a little bit. So that was the Prohibition era when America was once a drug country, just like Saudi Arabia today and a bunch of other countries that make it illegal to drink alcohol. And it was kind of an experiment, by the U.S. government to see just what would happen if just, alcohol became all of a sudden illegal. And then in theory, it would, increase morality and it would be, a more civilized nation. Because, back in the 1800s, 1870s, it was completely uncivilized. People were running around, rampant because of the West and westward expansion. And alcohol was seen to be as like the main driving force behind all that, and it was like a problem to a lot of people. And then Americans learned from that mistake, because they instantly regretted it as soon as they put that law in process. And then it was the first example of the forbidden fruit effect. If you keep it away from people, they're gonna want it more, and as a result, they'll go out of their way to get it no matter what. And so as you see, like a lot of speakeasies began popping up in every major U.S. city, and no matter what, people would always just get their hands on alcohol, and people would start making their own alcohol, like moonshine and other types of spirits that would be also like incredibly dangerous to drink because it was just such a high liquor proof. So during this time, it was seen alcohol was like the devil's product. It was just like an evil thing, and that's why they banned it for a few years. And now, if you look at today, America's an outlier. You can see right here that the age limit for America is 21. That's a dark spot right there. And there's a couple other countries, just lying around where the age limit is 21. But as you can see right here, it says 18, 19. That's the majority of the world is 18 and 19. And so that means America is like an outlier among all of them. It's not about America being left out, but it just serves as an example of how America is different from all the other countries. And then I'm going to use the UK as an example for most of these. I'm not going to use multiple countries, but I'm going to focus on the UK because just their culture is so much different, like, alcohol-wise. So I'm going to focus on them throughout the presentation. So let's talk about like the crimes, because of alcohol and all that. So, especially underage. So a majority of all underage drinking is in fact binge drinking, which means binge drinking is just basically drinking as much alcohol as you can before you pass out and you just keel over it. And it leaves no room for moderation because it causes teens to be reckless. Drink it all at once and then leave no evidence behind it. Because when they buy alcohol, it's always obtained illegally, so they need to drink it all because they have nowhere to store it. And then, as you can see right here, it repeats. It causes a forbidden fruit effect. Anybody who's 18 to 21 is gonna want alcohol more because it's just not allowed to them. They can't purchase it, so they go out of their way to get it. Just like the Roaring '20s, everyone got out of the way to get it. And then here's a statistic from the alcohol rehab guide.org, where it's just like a national rehab guide where it talks about like underage drinking and the dangers of it. And then I'm kind of going to go against that because it's just me trying to prove a point saying that 18 is a good age to start whenever for the legality of drinking age. And of course that website's going to say that 21 is the perfect age, but I'm here to disprove that. So 22% of all students under 21 compared to an 18% of over 21 years of age are heavy drinkers, meaning that the ones that are under 21 are more likely to be drinking more than those that are over 21, like recklessly drinking. And then the hardest time to follow the law absolutely 100% is during the transition between high school and college. And simply because of the fact of, peer pressure, all your friends are going to be doing it, so you might as well be doing it too. And it's really hard to say no, obviously, in that situation. And it can be argued that a lot of issues of alcoholism starts here, because this is where you, first start into drinking alcohol, and that's your only, transition period into, drinking alcohol. Like, you can't go into a bar and start drinking at the age of 18, obviously, so you have to do it kind of, you're a fugitive, basically, when you think about it. Once you turn 18, you're not allowed to drink, and you have to wait 3 more years when you're 21 to drink. So you're basically a fugitive, and you have to, be secretive and then find your own ways to drink alcohol on your own. And then, so, comparing it to the UK here, they're drinking as age 18. So when that happens, it allows a guilt-free environment that promote moderation, just as the UK has done it for years. The UK has never increased their age limit at all. It's been 18 for God knows how long. And then right here, this professor right here, he talks about just like the different cultures and stuff like that. He talks about the UK culture and how drinking there is different from here in America. In America, day drinking is seen as like an unusual thing, or people perceive it as like alcoholism, saying that if you day drink, you're drinking too much because you should only drink in the night. But people in the UK usually just drink during the day, just whenever they want, because they think they can, moderate, and like they don't even have to worry about drinking too much because it's just an everyday thing. And then this guy right here, he's a guy from CNN. He talks about how UK millennials, millennials compared to the millennials here, they drink a lot less alcohol than they do here. And that's simply because of that culture that the professor was talking about. He talks about, just that culture allows a pressure-free zone, just everybody can drink, and no matter what. Like, it's just, no one's under pressure from all that. So therefore, they're not obligated to drink all at once. They're just, they drink in moderation. So it's difficult to predict how exactly, we would transition to being 18. It'd probably be very jarring at first, because a lot of people that are 18, they're going to be like, oh, we're 18 now we can drink. Everything has changed. It's going to be like a huge, monumental shift from our culture. And then I believe the benefits outweigh the cons. A lot of people think that if that happens, alcoholism will start even earlier, and then the people that are underage drinking will be like 15 and 16. But I disagree, because I still think that it's going to be the same thing. It's just now they're not going to be as pressured, and now they're not going to find their way to get more alcohol without permission, and then without the law following them, without being fugitives. And it's important to take into account that youth culture is important to just keep it pure in a way, like keep it to where there's no trouble, because if you outlaw alcohol, you'll basically outlawing most of the youth in today, like 18 to 21, that age gap. They're all technically just outlaws. They're always drinking, and it's hard to find a person that's not going to be drinking at 18 to 21. So it's important to preserve it and then say that they're not delinquents, so that in the future they'll become more responsible adults. And that concludes my presentation.